Greetings from Northfield, Minnesota. I am Susan Hvistendahl, and I've written 3 historic happenings books about Northfield, St. Olaf, and Carleton, collected from my historic happenings columns, which I wrote for the Entertainment Guide between 2007 and 2016. To give you an idea of the selected stories from the second volume, shown here, of stories about local history, I've chosen to read Nancy Ringham, class of 1977, Stars on Stage, originally published in August of 2008. In her wildest dreams of success, Nancy Ringham, St. Olaf class of 1977, could not have imagined that a few short years after graduation, she would find herself on a Broadway stage in My Fair Lady in the role of Eliza Doolittle. Her co-star was none other than Rex Harrison, the original Professor Higgins. Born in Moorhead, Minnesota, Nancy Ringham spent most of her youth in Edina. Speaking from her home in Tenafly, New Jersey, Nancy told me, "I was a bandy, not a singer, playing flute in school." But when she came to St. Olaf in 1973, she sang with the Manitou Singers, Repertory Singers, and Chapel Choir, and added a theater major to her music major after appearing in a life-changing 1974 production of Godspell. Directed by Patrick Quaid, Godspell won an American College Theater Festival award as one of the top 10 productions in the country and toured for 3 weeks. Nancy also played the lead in Medea and had a role in The Maids. She spent half her junior year studying in Oxford, England, where she performed at the Oxford Playhouse. After graduating in 1977, Nancy took a job as a hostess in a Bloomington hotel while auditioning for community theater parts and studying dance. She made her professional debut as a chorus member at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater, had her first major role at the Chimera Theater in 1978, and a small part in the Guthrie Theater production of The Beggar's Opera in 1979. Nancy headed to New York City in the fall of 1979, planning to take a few classes, audition, and move back to Minneapolis. In the spring of 1980, Nancy was one of around 600 actors who took time off from waiting tables to audition for a pre-Broadway 25th anniversary national tour of My Fair Lady, starring Rex Harrison, who had originated the role of Henry Higgins and had won both a Tony and an Oscar for it. The music director remembered Nancy from an earlier audition, and she was chosen to be a member of the chorus. The role of Eliza, the Cockney flower seller who is transformed by Professor Higgins into the toast of high society, was being played by British actress Cheryl Kennedy at the insistence of Harrison on the national tour. In March of 1981 in Chicago, Nancy became the understudy for this role, and at the last stop before Broadway in Boston, Nancy played Eliza at a matinee to save the stress on the star's voice. Then, just days before the Broadway opening, the cast was told that Cheryl had nodes on her vocal cords and Nancy would be taking her place for the run of the show. "I started to cry," said Nancy, who was still working on a improper Cockney accent and had only a couple more previews to prepare for this role of a lifetime. "It was an exhausting, exciting, intimidating, and terrifying time for Nancy," she said. Most critics came to the final preview, which had not gone very well. On opening night, Nancy was thinking, "This is sort of the beginning and end of my Broadway career." She gained strength upon seeing all the flowers and telegrams from all those people who believed in me. 15 minutes before the play began, Nancy was given a note from Harrison, which said simply, "Break a leg, let the first 2 scenes rip." Harrison had not been very supportive up to this point, and Nancy was relieved when opening night went beautifully and the 12-week run was extended to 16. The New York Times review of My Fair Lady from August 19, 1981 said considerable drama was added to the reopening by the last-minute assumption of the title role by the understudy, Nancy Ringham. Miss Ringham, a young American actress, was rushed in to make her Broadway debut, turning the evening into a Cinderella story within a Cinderella story. She's an appealing leading lady with a strong voice. Nancy's family had attended the opening, and friends from Northfield drove out for another performance. Myrna Johnson, Ruth Legvold, and Nancy Haugen had a surprise in store after they took their seats in the audience. Ron Sell, St. Olaf class of 1966, was playing principal horn in the orchestra and warmed up by playing a complete version of St. Olaf's Ya Ya fight song in honor of their presence in the theater. This book, Historic Happenings at St. Olaf College, can be purchased from the publisher By All Means Graphics at byallmeansgraphics.com/books.